Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Ashton Jackson. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys backup quarterback situation. I know we have been linked to a guy and a quarterback like Joe Milton III. I would like that prospect if the Dallas Cowboys were to trade for him. The only reason why we're even talking about a backup quarterback situation is because Cooper Rush is gone, Trey Lance is gone. They're both free agents, and we had Cooper Rush signed with the Baltimore Ravens to be their backup, backing up Lamar Jackson. So for me, before we go into the video, I appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. Leaving off from the intro, really the reason why I feel like we are even talking about this position is because Dak Prescott has been getting hurt a lot, and also one of the most valuable positions in football is the quarterback position, but also you need somebody who can back up your quarterback in case your quarterback does go down. Dak Prescott has been facing a long, not really a long, but has been facing at least you can say 4 straight years of having to deal with some sort of significant injury. Some have been out of luck, some just is just for his body just giving out on him. You think about it in 2020, that was pure unlucky. You know what happened when he played against the New York Giants week 5 and he tore his ankle, trying to be mobile, trying to set for him Logan Ryan, he snapped his ankle in half. 2021, in the offseason, he had something wrong with his shoulder. He was out, that sidelined him from training camp for a few weeks after he just got his deal signed, right? And then in 2022, my bad, still in 2021, he hurt his hamstring, something with his foot that had happened against the New England Patriots in overtime. And then you had in 2022, in which he had to miss 5 games because, again, he was dropping back for a pass and he threw a routine pass and his thumb hit off the back of his left tackle rookie Tyler Smith's helmet, and it sidelined him for 5 to 6 weeks. Cooper Rush did his job, what he was supposed to do, but eventually he turned into a pumpkin after he played the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Then you look in 2023, that was the healthiest he has been all that entire year. He went on to be all pro, things of that nature, right? And then 2024, he just went in to go throw a simple pass and his hamstring just obliterated on him. So just tore off the bone. So, we have to think about this position again. Once Dak Prescott is down, we understand that we're very limited on what we do with our offense, and that's why we're talking about Joe Milton III. I'll talk about his attributes in a little bit, but then also we know that our season is over once Dak Prescott is down. And I feel that the Dallas Cowboys understand that, and the Dallas Cowboys are trying to attack that backup position as serious as they possibly can. For me, I would love to pick up a guy like Joe Milton. The only reason why Joe Milton is even linked to the Joe Milton III, excuse me, the only reason why he is linked to the Dallas Cowboys is because the New England Patriots had signed Joshua Dobbs to be their backup quarterback, backing up their eventual starter, Drake May. So since Joshua Dobbs is in the building, they signed him to a contract. They got Drake May, who they selected 3rd overall in the 2024 draft, and now Joe Milton is relegated to the 3rd quarterback, and the New England Patriots feel that they can trade him for something, get something in return for him. I've been hearing that they've been wanting a round 3 pick. I don't know if I'm going to give up a 3rd round pick for a guy like Joe Milton, who only played 1 game in the NFL, but he has shown a lot of promise in college when he took over in Tennessee when Hendon Hooker had went down. Hendon Hooker was looking like a potential Heisman winner type of quarterback, and he goes down with an injury, and then Joe Milton steps in, and I'm showing clips right now and just highlights and things what Joe Milton can do. Joe Milton has a huge arm. He can run the ball. He's elusive with his legs. He can escape the pocket. He has a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson type of arm. He was known in the SEC to have one of the best, strongest arms in the entire SEC conference. I do believe that we should bring in a guy like Joe Milton. What am I willing to give up? I'm willing to give up this year's one of your 5th round compensatory picks, if not one of your 6th round compensatory picks, because he was selected in the 6th round in 2024, pick 193, and I would think that would be fair compensation, if not better compensation, if we give him a fifth round pick. I believe that we can add conditions to that pick to make it a better pick for the Patriots in the next year. So if we want to give him a pick in which, it has conditions on it, if Joe Milton starts, if he wins the Super Bowl, if he has a certain amount of passing yards and touchdowns and things of that nature, it can be a higher pick than a fifth round pick. You can possibly get up to a third round pick or a fourth round pick. Since the Dallas Cowboys like giving up fourth round picks, if they just want to flat out win the bet or win the deal, they can just give up a 2026 fourth round pick. They know they have at least 3 more years left on Joe Milton's rookie contract, and they have a quarterback who has a lot more experience than a guy like Trey Lance had, and he can come in. He's 6'5", 246 pounds, so he's in that Josh Allen type of mold where he's not as dynamic or as explosive as a Josh Allen, but he has the physical mold as a Josh Allen, has a rocket arm just like Josh Allen. I still think that he needs to work on decision making and seeing things down the field, which he doesn't really have a problem with that, but I'm just in terms of at the NFL level, I just think he's going to take care of the ball. He's going to make the big plays. I just feel like he just needs his opportunity to play. I felt like if he played a lot more snaps at Tennessee, I felt that he possibly could have been a higher draft pick in the 6th round. But obviously there is flaws to him, right? That is one option. I would love if the Dallas Cowboys can go out and go make a move for Joe Milton. But there's 2 options in free agency I feel that the Dallas Cowboys should go after to upgrade this position. Outside of spending a draft pick on a possible guy like Dylan Gabriel, lefty out of Oregon, no bigger than 5'11", but I don't care about quarterback height because when I played quarterback I wasn't that tall anyway. And then also we have so many quarterbacks in the league that has shown you that you don't need to be the common 6'5" for you to win football games. Cam Newton, Josh Allen, there's a lot of great 6'5", 6'4", and above type of quarterbacks that can get the job done that were really great on this level of this league, right? But you have Drew Brees, who wasn't even taller than 5'11", 5'10". He was dominant in the league. Kyler Murray is a damn good athlete. Look how explosive and elusive he is, and look at the type of arm talent he has. And I know he played out in Texas, top 10 pick in the MLB draft, the number 1 overall pick in the 2019, first overall pick. I mean, he's a damn good quarterback, and he's no taller than me, about 5'7", 5'8". So, I would like for us if we wanted to draft a Dylan Gabriel, I wouldn't be mad. But I know the Dallas Cowboys, they love height and that's what they value. So I believe this will fit their mold. I like Dylan Gabriel because he's a gamer. I feel that he has a really great IQ. I feel like he can come in and take over for the Dallas Cowboys. He can run the offense, and I do feel like he can get to his reads and he can open things up with his legs. And I think that he'll be fine if we draft him somewhere in the 5th or the 6th round. Curtis Warwick out of Indiana, 6'5" quarterback. Traits when you're drafting in later in that round anyway, you're looking for traits, guys who's played a lot of football. That's the type of quarterbacks and type of name. Kyle McCord coming out of Syracuse. He was formerly with Ohio State when he was there with Marvin Harrison Jr. So he was there with them and leading them to that season that they had. But yeah, so again, I would love for us to pick up Joe Milton if we give up a conditional type of pick where there are certain conditions written in that contract or in that pick that says if he starts, wins a certain amount of games, takes us to a Super Bowl, it can be anything higher than a 5th round pick. But if the Dallas Cowboys are like, F it, we'll just give up a 4th round pick in 2026 for him, I wouldn't necessarily hate it. I wouldn't want to do it, but I wouldn't hate it as well. Now, if we were to go outside of the trade market and the draft, free agency is something that the Dallas Cowboys can look at. The Dallas Cowboys are really cheap. They're not looking to spend a lot of money. There's some players in the free agency I feel like Dallas Cowboys could be fine. Why not go back to what you gave up a 4th round pick for in 2023? Because you missed out on the chance to draft a potential Braylon Allen, an Isaac Guerrero. You're a really good running back 2, running back 1, in which if you use that pick to draft a running back, you could have used that pick in the 4th round and not felt like it was a pressing need to draft a running back until the 3rd round in this year's draft. Now we're kind of slotted to pick a running back in the first 2 rounds, depending on how things go because of how great this running back room or class is. But the very elite talent, I believe there's 3 of them in this draft. There's Ashton Genty out of Boise, Marion Hampton out of UNC, North Carolina, and then Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. I believe those are the three elite running backs that if you can get one of those three backs, you will feel confident that they can take over the backfield and they can be your running back one. Everybody else, I feel like you can pair with somebody else, whether that's Scottaboo, Trayvon Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, R.J. Harvey, Dylan Sampson, uh, Devin Neal. I feel like those are running backs that you want to pair with somebody else. But again, outside of that, you gave up a fourth round pick for a Trey Lance, in which you could have drafted Isaac Orindo, one of those guys, and you could have felt a lot better about your running back room. Since you gave up on that fourth round pick, just bring him back. Now, in my opinion, if they want to bring him back, you could. But my thing about Trey Lance, and as everyone talks about in the NFL, you don't have enough time throughout the league or throughout the season to develop a guy like Trey Lance. He needs to do his own time when his NFL season ends. He needs to be working in the lab from when his season ends in January all the way up until the following season in August. He has yet to have been signed. I would like if the Dallas Cowboys can come back and try and sign him. For me personally, if I was in his camp, I just don't think he's going to start in this league. I do think he can get better down the line. He has all the traits. He's 6'4". He can run a 4.3 40, 4.4 40. He's that type of athlete. We've seen that be displayed in just this past year's preseason. He has a strong arm like a Joe Milton III, but the difference between Joe Milton and Trey Lance is that Joe Milton has a crap ton of experience versus Trey Lance. I feel like Trey Lance needs to go over to either the CFL or the XFL and go somewhere where he can get a crap ton of experience. He can just play a lot of football, understand the defense, understand the game of football, and I feel like he's 24 years old. He's still a young quarterback. He can go to XFL, CFL, go win some Grey Cups in the CFL, and go be a damn good quarterback in Canada, and then come over to the league when you're 28, 29 years old, and then go play. But if an NFL team is interested in him, they're going to give him a contract. You would rather take an NFL contract versus an XFL or CFL type of contract. But I feel like the best fit for him to be a damn good quarterback, in my opinion, if he can make the roster for an XFL or CFL team, make some progress, make some headway over there, and he works his route all the way to the NFL, I feel like he'll be a better quarterback in the next 4 to 5 years than he will be right now, backing up a Dak Prescott or backing up a Josh Allen if he was to go to Buffalo, or backing up a Lamar Jackson and Baltimore, if he so feels that he can come into this league and play. If that's what he truly feels like he can do, which I feel like he does. He was selected third overall 4 years ago in the 2021 draft class. Why don't you think you're basically drafted off of 10 games? So he has some sort of talent. That's why I feel like he needs to go to the CFL or XFL, show that off, go over there, and he'll be a better quarterback. Carson Wentz is a quarterback I'm thinking about. Was the second overall pick in the 2016 draft class. Dak Prescott's the only person from that draft class that stayed with one team. But if the Dallas Cowboys want to bring in a guy like Carson Wentz, I would not hate it. Strong arm. Mentally, that kind of has to get worked on. But I feel that if Carson Wentz was to come in, he'll be a solid starter. He was a starter for the Indianapolis Colts. Was a few games away from taking them to the playoffs. Couldn't get it done. But what it could have, should have, didn't happen. Played for the Commanders, couldn't get it done, and it was a backup for the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I think Carson Wentz would be a nice backup and possible starter if you would want him to. But also he has to deal with injuries as well. Last but not least, the last quarterback I'm thinking about is Russell Wilson. If Russell Wilson doesn't get picked up by the Giants, if the Steelers no longer want him, or things of that nature, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys should go sign Russell Wilson. Hear me out. He was a former quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, as we all know, under offensive coordinator, which is now our head coach, Brian Schottenheimer. That is another guy, similar to what Eric Kendricks was for our defensive coordinator last year. I forgot his name. But if you get him similar, basically somebody that can relay the offensive system to the offense, like how we had Eric Kendricks last year on the defense, if we bring that over with Russell Wilson, won a Super Bowl, has played really great football in this time, I feel like if you sign him in as a backup, I think it will work. Because if he doesn't go over to the Browns, if he doesn't re-sign with the Steelers, if he doesn't go over to the Giants or any quarterback needed team, I feel like he can come in and play for us with the star on his helmet. And if he backs up for the entirety of the year because Dak Prescott is healthy, so be it. But if Dak Prescott goes down, we don't feel like our season is over because we have a guy like Russell Wilson. So again, I would love for us to trade for Joe Milton III. I would give up a fifth round pick, but if the Dallas Cowboys really want him, I won't be surprised if they give up a 2026. So next year's fourth round pick, I would not be surprised. If you want to draft a quarterback like Dalen Gabriel, Curtis Warwick, Dalen Gabriel out of Oregon, Curtis Warwick out of Indiana, Kyle McCord at Syracuse. Those are good quarterbacks, I think, that can come in and run your system if you need them to. If you want to go on free agency, I'm thinking about Trey Lance. But if Trey Lance doesn't get signed by an NFL team, he should go to the XFL, CFL, and get a lot more experience to become a better quarterback in the next 4 to 5 years. Carson Wentz, former first-round pick, strong arm. He can start for you if need to if Dak Prescott goes down. Last but not least, Russell Wilson, because he can be similar to what Eric Kendricks was for you last year on the defense, but inverse, it'll be on the offense this time. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.